Hey, I get this. I've been getting this question a lot on the internets, on social media, and a couple of studies have come out recently. So I thought it's an important thing to address. Um, the question here's an email from Sarah, and it just says, "Can trauma cause weight gain? And how do you work through enough trauma that your body responds well to things you're trying to do to lose weight?" So let me take a stab at answering this. Um, I want to think of trauma as your body telling itself a story in the present based on things that happened to it in the past. Okay. So, what does that mean? That means you were taking a left turn coming over a hill and somebody T-boned you in their truck because they were flying down the road, weren't paying attention, and somebody in your family passed away and you were in the hospital for a while. Now, 20 years later, every time you stop in an intersection to take a left turn, you feel yourself getting antsy. You grab the wheel a little bit tighter. Your heart starts beating faster. That's your body remembering in the present something that happened to you a long time ago. And since our brains are prediction machines and threat scanning machines, and I hate calling them machines, but just go with me here. Since that's what your brain's doing all the time, it remembers. It put a pin in that. Hey, when you're about to make a left turn, that's when somebody gets hurt. So when you're about to make a left turn, all of a sudden, man, your heart starts beating fast. You feel a little bit alive. Your body fills up with stress and cortisol and adrenaline. That's what it's doing. Or more insidiously, you had a feeling that I don't want to be around that uncle. I don't want to be around that guy at my church. I don't want to be around that guy, that teacher. That guy makes me feel uncomfortable. And their parents said, "Oh, that's just Uncle so-and-so. Go give him a hug. Go sit on his lap." Or that's just Sunday school teacher Bill. Go, he's fine. Oh gosh, my kid, she's just shy. And that person sexually abuses you. And whether it's a particular smell or a particular lighting arrangement or a particular way of talking or way of standing, whatever it is, your brain now is on the lookout because certain relationships will get you hurt. So let's have none of them. Okay? That's trauma, right? That's a thing that happened that now our body is trying to take care of us into the future. All right. So whenever our body hits the trauma button, hey, look out, we got to protect ourselves, right? It goes into fight or flight or goes into freeze, and it floods your body with response chemicals to fight a bear or to run from a bear or to hide from a bear, right? Not to have to go to work every day where they make fun of you and they are merciless against you, or not to have to be in a relationship where someone's taking advantage of you again because it happened before and happened before that and happened before that. And that's the relationship that part of your body knows. And also the other part of your body knows this relationship isn't safe, right? So we play these things out over and over and over again. Couple of things at play here. There's some studies that have come out that suggest that say that women who are obese are more likely to have a significant number of them, let me say it carefully, have experienced sexual trauma. And some people pontificate. They suggest that it might be somebody unconsciously trying to make themselves less presentable so that people won't find them desirable, people won't try to sexually abuse them. Other scholars suggest that it's a way of hiding within yourself. Kind of like when a kid puts their hair down in front of their face. My daughter does this. She'll like hide behind her own hair in the living room, right? Or I used to wear big, giant, baggy clothes because I was a skinny kid and I wanted to look bigger and tougher. It's a way to hide inside of yourself, okay? What I know is this. I don't know the ins and outs of the science. I do know this. Trauma, when that kicks up for the fight or flight, sometimes our bodies want to go grab cheap calories because we're going to be running and fighting things. And so we're going to grab the nearest food. And right now we have an abundance of cheap calories that we're just going to grab and eat and eat and eat. So that's number one. Yes. So it's not so much the trauma is causing obesity, but it's trauma kicks off some behaviors in our lives that then cause obesity, right? See what I'm saying? Paul Conte's work, the brilliant, he wrote a great book called Trauma. He's a psychiatrist. I think he's in New York or in California. I'm pretty sure New York. Great book, but he's told numerous stories as a psychiatrist that when he's treating somebody as a medical doctor and as a psychiatrist, they deal with their trauma and boom, they lose 60 pounds. They lose 30 pounds. Their body releases that weight. that it's been using to protect itself, or maybe eating patterns shift, or maybe people can finally sleep, and the de-escalated cortisol in the bloodstream, like whatever it happens to be, right? We can go down the nerd thing, but we don't do that. Here's what I want you to know. When it comes to how do you work through enough trauma that your body responds well to things you're trying to do to lose weight? Couple of thoughts there. Number one, here's how you quote unquote heal from trauma. Trauma healing is not that you forget what happened. You're not ever going to forget what happened. It's that you can remember it in the present and your body doesn't take off on you. You remember the wreck when your husband died. You remember when your granddad dropped with a heart attack and you and your dad tried to do CPR and he ended up dying. And you remember how hard your dad was crying. And you still get sad, but you can go about your day. That's healing from trauma. I can think about it, I can imagine it, but I don't re-experience it. Okay? So when someone asks me, like, how do I heal from trauma? I keep thinking about it. Yeah, of course you're going to think about it. Is your body taking off on you, right? Is your body trying to protect you still? Then you haven't fully healed from it. So that's number one. Let's heal with the trauma in a way that I can talk about it. This happened, and it's super annoying, and it still pisses me off, but I don't lose control of my body. And number two, ultimately losing weight, for most folks, losing weight is dealing with the psychology of it all and dealing with the psychology so I can make different behavioral choices. I can eat differently. I can change my food environment. I can make different choices. And there's plenty of research about when you get tired, you make bad diet choices. When you get stressed, you make bad diet choices. These studies linking trauma to obesity, right? So it's about the environment, because ultimately it's about what I'm putting in my mouth, right? What I'm eating or not eating. And so anybody who's had trauma, go deal with that. If you're struggling with losing weight and you think it's connected in some way, have that conversation with your mental health professional. Also have that conversation with your nutritionist or the person that you're getting your workout from. When we were in California recently, and I think the interview will be coming out with the Mind Pump guys, I had some hard conversations about my history with disordered eating and struggles I have with body dysmorphia and the bar always moving on me and all this kind of stuff. And they taught me some really important things that I've come home in the last month and already implemented, right? And that interview will be dropping here in a few weeks, I think. All I have to say is this. Heal from your trauma. Be highly intentional. If you are somebody who struggles with obesity, meet with your doctor, meet with a mental health professional, and get on a plan. And then feel less, think less, and follow the plan. Follow the plan. Follow the plan.